Good morning, gang. Welcome back to the Unraised Latina Ever. Today, we're going to talk about this little group that I became involved with on LinkedIn. I was added to a group of lobbyists, even though I'm not one. A lobbyist is kind of like a paid activist, except you get paid to do sleazeball things. You don't do much lobbying of good things. You lobby on the behalf of other wealthy people who want to have their cake and eat it too at our expense. So anyway, on this site, they're not posting, they don't say anything relevant, and finally I said, what's the point of this fucking site? Like, nobody even posts anything, and when they do, nobody even comments. Well, I got a bunch of comments, and somebody picked apart my syntax. So I asked him, is that a new tax that he has to be hit with when he fucking fucks some hoes? And I didn't get a response yet. And then one guy wrote pros, and then I responded to his comment as well. I said, you mean bro ho? Anyway, I love to mess with people, especially lobbyists, because they're just a bunch of sleazeballs, most of them. There's a few good ones out there, and they do some, I guess, okay things, but everything is done at taxpayer expense. So, I think when you're in public office, you shouldn't be taking bribes. And I've seen a lot of this happening up at the Oregon legislature. I was there for 6 months, engaged to a state senator up there. And I saw a lot of like sleazy lobbyists, and they would come into our office like shit-faced drunk, dressed like whores and just ugly skanks. So yeah, I mean, the money was flowing during that time, but it's all a bunch of shit. And my phone just went off, and my cuckoo's gonna go off. But on that note, I think that in order to make America great, we need to put a little bit of more conditions on the lobbying, and monitor our state senators a little bit closely so we can see where that money is flowing. Because not only did our governor unethically of Oregon take money, you know, and funnel it into his wife's interest, or his fiance, they are all doing what he got busted for. And that is my cuckoo clock, and I probably should wind it up, but let's listen to the cuckoo, because you know what, I think that that's a symbol of something. You know, it's sounding off every hour on the hour, and making our little cuckoo noise, you know. But you know what, I actually had a real cuckoo clock from Germany. My dad brought it when he was in the military. Next point, because I want to make this point. In order to make America great, we really need to build up our military. Being a child of a military, I call myself a military brat. My father was sharing a story, and this was a true story, and he said that their equipment was so old and so faulty that you know, he was supposed to take an old helicopter, fly it back to Florida. Instead, you know, one of the guys that he flew with wanted to go in his place because he had family back there. So my dad let him go in his place, and let him borrow a duffel bag and his book on magic. And unfortunately, that guy and the other air crewman never made it back. The plane crashed, and actually just they had a mechanical problem over a series of mountains, and the thing ended up on the side of a mountain, you know, in flames. So these injuries that are happening to our veterans weren't happening overseas or because of terrorist attacks. They were happening in an abundance, like the one in Mississippi, because of shitty equipment. And so, I mean, maybe we could pay less scumbag lawyer lobbyists to move scumbag fucking legislation that is meaningless, and maybe put that money back into our military defense program. I'd love that, because you know what? The days of people living high on the hog and fucking being a bunch of douchebag assholes need to go away. And by the way, how's this for syntax? That's it. Happy Sunday. Have a great day. And fuck you, lobbyists. Bye.